Hello there, and welcome to this first in a series of videos about how to effectively use social Wi-Fi. My name is Paul Webster. I'm the CEO of Social Wi-Fi, and my team have asked me to create a YouTube series of videos that's going to help our existing clients and potentially new clients get used to the system a lot faster and easier. The phrase that we like to use here is that social Wi-Fi is pretty easy to use, but it can be quite difficult to master. So we want to create some videos that are going to make it faster and easier for you to understand on how to use the dashboard rather than reading through some of our academy guides. The format for these is going to be quite informal. I'm going to talk as I would talk if we were sat across the table. So they may go on a little bit longer than they could do, but hopefully there's going to be a natural flow to these videos. So the first one that I'm recording now is about creating a venue. And this process would be exactly the same, albeit for some very minor steps at the beginning. Whether you are a new customer of ours and you've just got access to the dashboard from signing up on our website, or if you are setting up perhaps your 20th, 21st, maybe even your 100th venue with us, the wizard that we have is the same. So jumping on to my dashboard right here, we have a few things, what we call projects and venues. And we're going to do another video on what's the difference between a project and a venue. But at the top of the page, you see something called CIC Warsaw, and there's no venues there, and it's asking us to add our first venue. CIC Warsaw is where we are headquartered. We're in the capital city of Poland, and our main office is in a building called CIC. And within CIC, there is a membership club called Trend House. And what we're going to do today is create Trend House as a venue, add some branding, and go through the process if we were setting it up for them. So the first thing we want to do is click on add your first venue. And we get to the first of 4 steps here. What we recommend you do is use the Google search tool here to find your business on Google. So let's do some typing, and we find here Trend House on Chmielna in Warszawa, Poland. And you can see that Google has pulled through a lot of the information here. But what we need to do is insert a name in this top right field right here. Fallback language is the default language. We recommend keeping this as English, though you can change that to as many languages as you want, though you will have to do the translations by yourself. Google has identified that Poland is within the European Union, and therefore GDPR is relevant here, and it automatically enables that for the system. If you feel it's not relevant to your business, you can disable it, and it removes the options that we have here at the bottom. And what that is asking for is any legal information that is needed in order to fulfill the agreements page on our system. Because I don't want to go into too much detail on that, I'm going to turn that off on this example because we could spend a lot of time looking at this. The most interesting side of things, though, is setting up the page branding. And it's likely that you are signing up to Social Wi-Fi because you like the options that we can give you in terms of branding. There is no mention of Social Wi-Fi on the login pages at all, unless somebody goes into the terms and conditions where we have to legally say who is looking after that data. But what we can do in a few clicks is make a very nice looking Wi-Fi login page, and it's going to be fully branded to the client. So I have on my other screen here some artwork for this client. So I could click on these little image upload icons here if I want, but what I can also do is drag in the artwork that I want to use. So I've dragged in a background image here. Let's add a logo. Let's add a white version of that on this background. And we're going, we can start to build up what this looks like. We can add an overlay onto this background image here. So perhaps in this case, the white logo is not standing out quite as much as we'd like. So we can use this tool to add in a transparent overlay over the top. And by playing around with it, we can find something that's going to make the text stand out and really jump at the eye, but also keep that nice vivid image in the background that we have. And just playing around here, I'm quite happy with that option there. We have 4 options here: text color, links color, buttons color, and the color of the text within the buttons. I think the text color is looking very nice as white. If you want to change that, you can use the drag tool. I don't know what that's actually called, but the tool to drag it around and pick a color there. Or you can paste in a hex code or an RGB code here, and that will instantly update. So I'm going to leave the text color as white, but the button color is green. I'm not a big fan of this, and actually it doesn't match their brand, but I have their RGB code saved in my paste, and you can see I've just pasted that in, and it has updated these buttons on the preview on the right-hand side. And I can do exactly the same for the other 2 options here. So we've got links color. I'm going to make that the same as the button color just for consistency. And the text color within the buttons, maybe black, though I think white does look better there. And the same process. And that's it. So I've used 7 different options here. And I've already built up a very nice looking Wi-Fi login page. Now, when we go through and complete this, you can go into each page individually and make some more adjustments here. But what we want to do is give a really good foundation for all of the pages, because as part of the Wi-Fi login process, you will have at least 2 pages that you need to brand, potentially up to 4, depending on what your preferences are. So you don't want to be doing that 4 times. So what we do is we give you a tool that's going to help you create a really nice template, and then you can go in and touch things up. And we're going to do a video separate on all of the potential adjustments that you can make. Okay, moving on. This is the email branding page, and we've already pulled through, well, everything in terms of settings that we set on the previous page. But we have a problem here. The background of the email is white and the logo is white. So we cannot see the logo, obviously. What I can do is I can upload a separate logo just for the emails. And I have one that is a black version right here. I drag that in there and it has updated. And now we have a much nicer looking email template. This is the review request email that we will send to customers and guests after their visit. It's one of the most popular functions that we have in our system. Businesses are very keen on getting more online reviews these days. And this is roughly what a review request email is going to look like for the client. You can go through, you can adjust the background image individually. We can add a background color instead if we don't want to put the image in the background. We can change the color of the background area. So if we did want to keep that white logo, perhaps we could make instead of it being white, it could have been a gray background, for example. But I much prefer having a white background on emails and then having a darker image and font in front of it. Once again, we can use these color editors in exactly the same way. But in reality, with this version here, I don't think there is any need whatsoever to change any of the branding that we set on the previous page. And just to highlight my point here, I've uploaded a new logo here on the email, but we still have the white version of that logo on the login page itself. So each page on Social Wi-Fi is bespoke. So we've set up our branding and we're very happy with that. The last thing we want to set up is the settings for the review gathering system. Like I said, this is a hugely popular part of our service, and we have some separate videos upcoming on how to fully configure this. On this section, we're only setting the redirection links. So if somebody leaves a positive review through our email request, we want people to go one step further and leave that on a review site online. We integrate with 7. These are companies that allow external redirections. Other companies such as booking.com, you have to book your stay through those, but these are websites where you can go regardless of where you purchased from. So what we can do is put in the Facebook page link of this business in here. And you can see now we have a Facebook review redirection link here. And the same principle applies for any of the other review sites. So whether that is TripAdvisor, Yelp, Zomato, Trustpilot, Holiday Check. Google Maps have a slightly different way of doing this. You can see here that we have a link to their Place Finder ID, and that's going to open in a new tab. And what we have to do is just find our business again using their search tool. And you see here we have a Place ID. I just need to copy this, go back to the social Wi-Fi dashboard and paste that ID in. And now we have our redirection to Google reviews as well. You can put up to 7 on there. You can have just 1. If you just have 1 review site, we're not even going to show this page altogether. We're just going to go straight to the page that you have configured. This is only if somebody leaves a positive review. If they leave a negative review, we're not going to ask them to go to a third-party website. Instead, we are going to put a feedback box here so you can ask them for what you got wrong, how you can improve, and hopefully put things right for that customer. But again, we have other videos on this, and other videos are upcoming in this regard. And that's it. A 4-step editor right here. I've gone through that in 12 minutes, but if I was not talking to you and trying to describe this process, then it would have been a lot faster. I click create. I think I'm used to getting through this now in less than 5 minutes. So it is a very fast way to set up venues when you get used to it. And when you do that, you will land on the social Wi-Fi dashboard and welcome page, where you can then start to use the dashboard in more depth and edit the system in more detail and change more things. So that's the first video in this series, how to set up a venue. This is exactly the same editor if it's your first or your 101st venue with us. Hopefully this is useful to you. If you have any questions about this, feel free to get in touch with us, support@socialwifi.com, and one of the team will get back to you. And keep looking through the playlists that we are creating with tips here, and hopefully you'll pick up some more ideas on how to make the most of the service.